Hi, this is Kaydence with the Teen Life Project, talking from one teen to another about real life situations and how to just plainly survive the real world. Hey, it's Kaydence with the Teen Life Project, and I'm here with
Sicily
and Isaac Oaks.
and I'm 16.
15.
I'm also 16.
Okay, so to start off, we have a topic, but first we have to get to know you guys a little bit because for the audience to relate to you guys, we have to know you guys. So we'll start with whoever wants to go first. Just tell us about yourself, and then I'll ask you questions to better get to know you. So who wants to go first?
We can get ladies first.
So just tell us your hobbies, what you like to do, what you don't like to do, what you do on your free time. Just if someone were to ask, who's Sicily?
I don't know. I don't really do that much stuff. I play basketball, but it's just there. I don't play it because I'm good. I just play it to play it, you know? Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I don't really do it that much.
So if you were to choose, when you're older, what would you want to be?
Probably a doctor to make a lot of money.
Is that the only reason?
Yeah.
That's a solid reason. Okay, Isaac, your turn.
I also play basketball. I do some sports and stuff, and a lot on the weekends I'll DJ for different schools or stakes.
Mm-hmm. So tell us about soccer. I like soccer, and I know you play soccer.
Yeah. So I play soccer for the high school team, and last year I was freshman on varsity, and then this year I was also on varsity. So we'll see how it goes.
It's pretty good. It's impressive. Good job. Okay, now, what are some things that you guys like? We're getting deep. What are things you guys struggle with? Something that maybe no one else knows, or something that you personally if someone were to ask me what do I struggle with that no one knows, it's I struggle with anxiety and really bad I try not to let people show because I don't want people to be oh, I'm so sorry, feel bad for me. It's something
Mm-hmm.
I need to struggle with it. I need to change, and the only reason I can overcome it is with me. So that's what I struggle with at home or in the inside, I guess you would say. So that's the kind of
Yeah, so something that I struggle with a lot would be trying to make a lot of people happy and stuff. The biggest thing about me is I like to make people happy and smile and stuff. So if I can't do that, then it's kind of sad.
So what makes you want to make other people happy?
It's just whenever ever since I was growing up, when I was little and stuff, I was always just being a happy person and making everyone happy, and I'd try to include others and stuff.
So in your mission to make other people happy, does that kind of sometimes take your attention away from making your own self happy?
Quite a bit, yeah, I would say.
So how do you redirect your path on you first and then other people?
A lot. I'll take days for myself, especially on the weekends and stuff. I'll do stuff for me, but yeah.
I feel if you're not happy, then when you try to make other people happy, sometimes it doesn't work, and then you get down on yourself. Mm-hmm. What about you, Sicily?
I feel I hold grudges against people too much, my family and stuff. Other people, I'll forgive them and stuff, but my family, I really you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So I know your mom and dad aren't together anymore.
Yeah.
So how does that, I know how it makes my life harder. How does it make your life harder?
It's hard because they always are like competing with each other to make us happy, I guess. And they don't really like consider what actually makes us happy. They're just doing it to look better for other people. So
when you hold grudges against them, how do you either forgive them or kind of let it like go in the past? Like, what do you do to keep that family bond as strong like as it can be?
I just like with my mom, because I don't live with her, I visit her and like try to be nice and like act like everything's normal, even though we fight a lot. And then with my dad, he just doesn't like to bring her up at all. So, yeah.
So sometimes does that affect your mental health? Like trying to...
Sometimes, I guess, but it hasn't been too hard because I don't really think about it that much.
So does that affect school?
Not really.
That's good. Anything else we should know about you guys?
No, that really sums it up.
Okay, so we have a couple topics today, and one topic my mom thinks we should talk about is, I feel like I wouldn't say it's I mean, I guess it's a problem, but it's not like, it's not one of the serious, like, world-ending problems. It's just something that every single teenager does it, and every single teenager needs to, like, talk about or, like, I don't know. I don't know, but we're going to talk about ditching, and sometimes ditching isn't... We're going to talk about ditching school, and then we're just going to talk about ditching in general. So ditching school, ditching your problems, ditching life at home, like just ditching. So we'll talk about school first. What is the number one reason people would either ditch a class or ditch school in general?
Because I don't feel like going.
I feel like that's a solid answer, yeah. And what other reasons? Like, they don't want to go to that class, or...
Many times for me, I would be like really tired from sports or something, and I would ditch a class to go back to my house and take a nap or something.
And sometimes we think the class we're ditching isn't important to go to, so it's like we need to take sometimes that's when we take our mental health break, is during that class. But sometimes what we need to realize is that the teachers are there to teach, not to talk to themselves, you know? I feel like that's what we don't really recognize it until we're the next day when we've already ditched, it's already over with. Like, we ditch and we're like, we don't want to go to that class, let's go do something else. And then that just it hurts us, but we don't recognize it, but it also hurts the teacher, you know? I feel like sometimes when people ditch, people who are going through a lot, it's like I feel like seminary. A lot of people ditch seminary because it's not a part of school, and like if you ditch, it doesn't count against college or anything. But sometimes I've realized or recognized is that sometimes people are having bad days, and they ditch because they don't want to hear that life is perfect, everything is gonna be okay, because that's not how they feel. Like, they feel like they don't have a future, they don't have anything going for them, and to just go to that class and hear people say, your life's fine, like, everything's gonna be good, sometimes they don't want to hear that, you know? So I feel like that's a big reason why people ditch, and another reason is just because they don't want to go. But what we have to realize is how it makes other people feel. So, seminary related, why I feel like not just my mom, but parents in general, like if your kid ditches, they want to wonder why you took the class if you're not going to go. Like, why not take a different class that counts for school that you can get college? So what do you think, not just us, but like we have to kind of put ourselves in other people's shoes, is why do you think they took that just to leave?
That's a really good question. I've never really thought about that.
I haven't either. That's how my mom wrote it down.
Yeah, that's how like adults see how their perspective on how we ditch and stuff and why we ditch.
And I think like it goes two ways. Like adults see something and we have our own reasons that they don't know, and like they don't know why we ditch. Sometimes it is just to go get a drink. Sometimes it is to just go to Circle K or be dumb and just do something that you'd rather be doing instead of go to seminary. But most times it's because you don't want to hear what they have to say. And sometimes it's good to hear what they have to say, but sometimes you're just not in the mood. So it's like, my mom was wondering, like, why did you take that class if you're just going to ditch? Like, and I never thought about it that way. So I feel like that's something we should think about, is that. Okay, so now let's talk about ditching, like, just in life. So, let me think. Sometimes in life you have trials that you go through, and everyone has little, big trials. They're all different. But sometimes we use or we do something to get our mind off of the trials we're going through. So we're ditching our problems and we're doing something else. So what are something that you, not just you, but like you and other people do to get your mind off things that you're going through, like good or bad?
I just go on my phone.
It's good.
Yeah, I'll ditch family time, or if my friends or family are doing something, I'll ditch that because I don't want to go. Or
I know for me, I kind of do that too, but sometimes I change my attitude towards family because it's like at school you have to. Sometimes for me it's like I have to be that perfect label that everyone is known as, like she's always happy, like everyone has a label put on them. Like my label is she has the kid with divorced parents, like that's that's what everyone knows me as. And other people's label might be like, labels can be good or bad, like she's so and so's daughter, she does 4-H. Like no one recognizes you as who you are, like they just know you for the label you have on. So sometimes me ditching my problems is putting on that label that everyone gives me as the girl with divorced parents but is always happy. And then when I get home, it's like I don't have to pretend to be that label anymore, and I can be that's when I let all my feelings out, because I know I won't be as judged as when I'm at school. So I take out all my anger on everyone here, and it hurts the family. Like I feel like a lot of people do that too.
Yeah, on that label thing, that's like, I try to make more people smile and happy and stuff, and everyone thinks I'm like this really outgoing guy and stuff. But exactly what you said, when you get home and stuff, it's different. And yeah. Because
I feel like at school you have to be that perfect person for everyone else, so that we go to school and our friends are the people that we're most like. So if we're not the people who we think we were, then we're gonna feel like we let them down. And it's easier, I feel, to let family down, because they always say family's there forever, family, like they'll always forgive you, but your friends won't always forgive you. So it's easier to be mean or be a different person to your family than you are at school. I think that's something. Anything, Cicely?
No, I'm good.
Just listening? It's good to listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something our generation needs to do more.
I think everyone needs to realize that. Well, and I think sometimes when someone's like, is you're okay? You're like, yeah, like I'm fine. And you know something's up. And sometimes it's good to not push and to not want to know what's actually wrong, because that's their way of coping, is they don't like talking about it. But sometimes it's good to ask once, twice, maybe 3 times, and let them know that like you're there for them, and you can let them know that like there's someone to talk to, even if you don't know who it is and you just see they're having a bad day. I think we need to, again, ditch what we're going through to help them, because maybe they don't have anyone else and they don't have anywhere to go. They don't have nothing to help ditch their problems. So sometimes you have to go out of your way to help them. And talking on that note, I think sometimes when people are trying to ditch their problems, they go into drugs or alcohol or hanging with the wrong friend group. I feel like we see that a lot nowadays. Do you see that, Cicely?
Yeah, I really do.
So what would you tell them if they're going through something? And okay, if someone came to you and they're like, I'm struggling really hard, and the only thing that's helping me is weed, like I get high and I forgot all my problems, what would you tell that person?
I'd tell them that they have other options and they could, I don't know, talk to someone that will help them, even though they probably won't want to talk to anybody. I don't know, I guess I'd just tell them, like, try to stop and try to help themselves instead of getting worse.
And you said they have other options. What other options? Like, what other options besides drugs?
I don't find something else that they like. Like a hobby, I guess. They could find anything else.
That's good. I was hoping you'd say that. I was like, please say hobby, please say. That's good, because I know people do sports, or not even sports, like painting, singing, roller skating. I don't know, anything.
Roller skating.
Anything that anyone does, it's the main reason we do it is either one, because we just really like doing it, or two, it's to get your mind off something. And I think
It's a really good distraction, yeah.
it's the second option most of the time. It's a distraction. So, scenario for you, what if someone came up to you and they said kind of the same thing, like, my parents, I feel like I've let my parents down. They don't want to hear from me, like, I don't have any more friends because what the things they're going through causes them to get mad at friends, family, because that's how they cope. And this person doesn't feel like they need to be here anymore, and they were telling you that they were thinking about suicide, and because that's the way that they think coping with their problems would help. What would you tell them?
Oh, sheesh. Suicide is a really tough thing to talk about, and yeah.
I mean, it's tough, but it's like getting more, I hate to say it, but like it's getting more popular by the days.
It really is. I would tell them, I mean, there's the generic answers like get help and stuff like that. Cicely had a great hobbies and stuff, focus on you and stuff, like distractions are a great thing.
And sometimes you find distractions, but deep down, like, that pain is still there. Like, distractions are only temporary. Like, that's why it's called a distraction. But I think what people need to know is that pain is temporary and healing is a lifetime. I think that's something that people need to know. And sometimes it's like they're not happy because life isn't going good. Like, their life isn't going the way they want it. But I think I really like this quote. I don't remember who said it, but I seen it on America's Got Talent, and it made me cry because it was so good. And she said she had cancer, and she was singing a song called It's Okay. And she said, you can't wait for life to be going your way to decide to be happy. And you have to first make the choice to look at the good and be happy. And once you're happy and happy with yourself, then your life will be going the way you want it to be. You know? So I feel like, so now that we've talked about problems and things that we go through with ditching our problems and ditching school to get away from our problems, let's bring uplifting and talk about things that would help, like give resources and give good insight of, like, talk about, I don't know the word, I don't remember I don't remember the word. There's like...
You're right.
What's the difference between consequence?
Resolution?
Yeah. Resolution to the problem. So let's talk about ditching. What's a resolution for that?
Like to go? What are you talking about?
No, instead of so what you're trying to say is instead of ditching, what else could we do?
To
like
get our mind off what
yeah.
we're going through. Yeah.
In school or out of school? Both.
Mm-hmm.
I like hanging out with my sisters. Well, my sister. I usually hang out with her like once a week, and I usually like look forward to it each week. So that helps me.
So looking forward to that. What do you look forward to? Like just seeing her, or just knowing that there's something good that's like gonna happen, and it helps you keep a good attitude because you're like, I'm looking forward to this. It's gonna be good. Like why? What do you look forward to?
I look forward to like seeing her and spending time with her because it's like never boring. We usually like always have something to do, and I never usually like think about anything else going on. So that helps.
That's really good.
So like I can relate to that too. So like there'll be days on school where I'm like feeling down and stuff, and something that really helps me is looking forward to something. Or like I'll be at practice and we have to do this really tough conditioning and really tough practice. But what helps me is in the end, I know we're going to be done with this practice and this is going to be better for me. So I like to look forward to things and it gets my mind off of it.
So what would you tell someone that doesn't think they have anything to look forward to? Like they're like, I have nothing to look forward to. What would you tell them?
I think, personally, there's always something to look forward to. You just have to find it. Or you got to make time for something to look forward to, like your hobby or like family or friends.
I think sometimes people they're like, nope, I don't have anything to look forward to, and they have their mind set on that. But sometimes you have to help other people. You have to help people open their mind for them and name things or give ideas to help them get their mind flowing so that it's easier for them to look forward to something. I think that's good. I think we talked about some really good things. Anything else anyone would like to add?
You don't have any more questions?
I can get more questions if you want.
Bring them on.
Okay. Let me think. Okay, we'll have some fun. Let's talk about if you had... We can kind of... Now that we got to know you, know some more about you, we can kind of have fun and get to know the fun side of you guys, because that was kind of... If you had $1 million for you and your friends, how would you guys spend it?
I probably wouldn't spend it.
Oh,
like I'd
just
keep
gonna
it.
Keep it forever?
Yeah. What if like I get in debt? Then I could just pay it off.
Okay. I've never heard someone say that before.
Yeah, me either. I don't know. I'll definitely, I'd be smart with it, don't worry, but probably the first thing I'd buy is like a monkey or something. I'm just kidding. Or like a cool pet.
I'd buy hot Cheetos.
You already do, and you don't even have $1 million.
But then I would have a lifetime supply, and then I could spend my other money on other things. Okay. How do you guys think life is when you are like your grandma, your mom and dad, is when you get along with them, like or even your dad, because you're with your dad a lot. So how is life easier or harder, like, and how, if when you're going through something, instead of shoving it down, you be open with them and tell them what you're going through. Like, how does that make life easier for you guys?
Usually when I tell my parents about something that I'm struggling with, they always help me in some way. If they're just listening or if they're actually helping with the problem.
I don't usually tell. I don't tell them.
Okay.
Not that I don't trust them. I just don't want to bring it up because
Why?
it just seems like an uncomfortable subject.
Mm-hmm. So does that weigh you down, knowing that you can't talk about it, or not?
No, I usually just like think about it really hard, like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So when I don't talk about it, it doesn't really go away, but I don't worry about it as much.
Mm-hmm. That's good. I think it gains trust, and you're able to, I wouldn't say do more things, but have the opportunity to make the choice to do more things. Because sometimes when parents say, no, you can't do this, it's for a reason. Like, either they have a gut feeling they don't want you to go, or they just plainly they don't want you to go. There has to be a two-way respect that goes both ways. Like, you have to respect their decision, and they have to respect that either you want to go or you don't want to go.
Didn't you have like a hard time in junior high or whatever?
I did.
So how did it change? How has it changed from now?
That's a good question. That's good. I think one of the main reasons why I had a really hard time in junior high was because junior high, like, the divorce between my parents didn't really get in the way of life until junior high, because, like, junior high is when you're, like, growing up and you start wanting to go do stuff, and it's like your dad wants you to go, but your mom won't let you, or your mom wants you to go and your dad won't let you. And a lot of that made me want to just sneak around and do things, because instead of asking, I didn't want to have, because when I ask and they always give different answers, like, I don't feel like they're never on the same page, I feel like. So instead of making a huge fight about it, I just would go do it without anyone knowing, so that it saves them a fight. And that made me end up making choices and hanging out with the wrong friend group, and it really has changed my life, and I don't think I'd be sitting here right now if it wasn't for them. So sometimes me hanging out with them, I see it as a good thing. It was a thing for me to overcome, and I think God never gives you challenges you can't go through. So I feel like he gave me that, knowing I can go through it and make a stronger, bigger person. And the reason why I was able to overcome that was because it came so bad that it was just a breaking point for me. And I got caught with, like, I was hiding phones and everything. I wasn't allowed to have one, and I think it was a blessing I got caught, because it was a relief. It was like I always had that weight on my shoulders of having to lie after lie, and lying to cover up a lie I told 3 months ago, because I can't get in trouble for it. So I think me getting caught is what made me overcome it, because it was a chance for me to start over and realize that they made me do things, but I'm gonna make them see that, because we were all in a tough spot in junior high, all of my friends, and we used each other to get out of family issues, or it was mostly family issues, and we fed on each other, and it didn't end up well, and they're still going down that same path. And I think when they see me doing good, knowing that because I know deep down they want to change, they don't want to be hanging out with the people that they're hanging out with. So when they see me, who used to be not as, I wouldn't say good, because everyone is good, but when they see me making the decisions that I'm making, and it's making my life, like, better, then it gives them a spark of hope, knowing that they can change if they really want to, they can get there. So I think that's how my 7th and 8th grade got me to where I am right now.
So what advice would you give to, like, our 6th graders going up to 7th grade junior high, and 7th graders going to 8th grade year?
I would say the biggest thing for me is you have to act as if and be as if. So if you're acting like, let's say this is just like an example. If you want to make it to championships in a game, you have to act as if you're already champions and be as if you're already champions, and it helps you make it to the championships. So if you want to be going down a different path, you have to act as if you're already on that path, going down a good path, and you have to be the person going down the good path. You have to act as if and be as if you're already there, and it'll help you see that once you're starting to act like you're already going down a good path, and it helps you be a better person overall. What advice would you give to people from 8th grade going into high school?
It's a lot better. High school's a lot better than junior high, I would say. There's a lot more freedom, but you can't abuse the freedom because they'll take it away. Be you. Don't try to be someone else that you're not, and don't try to be I don't know, the
label of...
Yeah, the label that someone gives you.
Because in the end, that only hurts you, because you're losing yourself and forming a person that wasn't supposed to be you in the first place. What about you? What advice would you give to 8th graders?
I feel like most of them act like they're older than they are, and they need to realize that they should be doing stuff their age and stuff like that. And I don't know, like, not try to be cool, like he said, and do stuff that other people are doing. Which I know that sounds like such a parent thing to say, but it's actually true.
Well, I mean, people are like, you need to be a kid, you need to be a kid. Like, and sometimes you're like, I don't want to be a kid, I want to grow up. Like me, I can't wait till I am on my own and I move out. It's like, oh my goodness, like, I have so much freedom, and it's like I can go do whatever I want. But I know deep down that when I do move out, I'm gonna miss everyone so much. Like, it's gonna be like, I want to move back to where I'm getting in trouble. Like, I want to be in trouble. Like, why am I not in trouble? Like, it's... So when you're a kid, you have to do kid things and go hang out with your friends, but don't do adult decisions when you're hanging out with your friends. Go egg a house. Like, go do stupid teenage things. Don't be drinking and smoking and vaping, because those are adult decisions that our brain, it'll mess us up forever. Like, we cannot fully make that decision when we're a teenager. I think that's really good. I think another thing is, don't let others change you. Like, if they don't accept you for you, then you have to find new people, and that's just the hurtful truth. I think so. Anything else?
And like the biggest thing about trying to be like not the cool, but like the popular. A lot of it's peer pressure and stuff. And how would you guys say, or what would you guys do to get out of peer pressure? Because I know we've all been peer pressured before, and there's different strategies and stuff to get out of it. So what would you guys say?
Go ahead, Cecily. You can go first.
I usually just make up excuses.
That's good, though.
Sometimes it's good to lie.
Yeah, but I do it not a lot, but when I need to. Yeah, I guess, like, I'll say that I have to go home, or that, I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, say you have something.
But like, I don't really hang out with people that pressure me, so. And, like, doing stuff like kissing, for example. Like, people will try to make you kiss them and stuff, and then you'll tell them no, and then they'll be like, oh, why not? It'll be fun, or whatever. And then you'll be like, no. And no.
I think I still struggle with that a lot, because I'm still trying to be that perfect person, and I don't want to let other people down. Like, I don't want them to see that I'm weak, so I try to... But, I mean, I definitely am getting better. It's something that it's a struggle I go through, but you have to have your mind made up before. You have to think of the scenario before you're there so that when that scenario does happen, you already have your answer. Like, if you're going to a party or hanging out with friends and you know there's going to be alcohol, you have to make up your mind. I'm not drinking. I'm not going to even go by the alcohol, so that when the peer pressure comes up, hey, you want to drink, you already have that answer in your head. No, like, I don't want to. You have to know your answer before you're there. What
And the
about
stuff
you?
that like really
No, go
the
ahead,
stuff that
Cecily.
gets me is like alcohol and stuff. I just think of people who is it like has affected and like that are, what do you call them? When they drink too much alcohol?
Alcoholic?
Yeah. I don't know what, I forgot it. Like, you just think of people that you know that are alcoholics and you're like, I don't really want to end up like them, so you stop.
And you have to, people that are, I know teenagers can definitely be alcoholics. That's definitely a thing. And they have the power to stop now so that when they're older, they don't go down the wrong path. Because I don't want to say people turned out bad, because there's still good in every single person. And I will believe that, and I will take that to my grave with me. There is chance for everyone to change and become a different version of you that you like better. But it's easier when you're a kid to make that decision to change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And a lot of times it's not just peer pressure. Like, I know for like me and my friend group, like for boys and stuff, it's competitiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we'll strive to be like
The best.
one up each other and stuff. So I know a lot of people do that with like drinking and smoking and stuff. Like, oh, he did that, I'm gonna do this because I'm cooler than him, which is like how the world perceives it.
Yeah. I think that's just, yeah.
I was just gonna say, your mom chose a really good topic.
Yeah, she did. Actually, I'm going to bring her in really quick, see if she has something to say since she chose the topic. Be back. Okay. Okay, so now I have my mom here, and I'm going to ask her a couple questions to get a kind of like a parent's perspective on, because we make our decisions because we know what we want, but sometimes we want to hear what other people have to say. So let's talk about, we talked about ditching seminary, ditching school, and sometimes we came to the conclusion that people like to ditch because either one, they just don't want to go, or two, because seminary is a big one. People don't want to go to seminary because they've already decided that they're having a bad day, a bad week, and they don't want to hear that everything's going to be good. Everything's like, because that's what seminary kind of tells us, like, and they're right, your life will be good, but you have to make that decision. So what is your perspective on when you see us ditch? What is your first, what do you first think when you see teenagers, not just me as your daughter, but teenagers in general ditch?
Well, I guess the first thing that comes to mind is when I look at you guys is you girls are so pretty. You're handsome. You guys have everything your whole life ahead of you. And I know it doesn't seem like a big deal right now to ditch like a class or whatever. But I think it's just the respect for your teachers, the respect for yourself. You know, deep down we know it's not the right thing to do. And if you don't want to go to seminary, that's something that you can talk about with your parents. But like for you, it's just, you're breaking the rule. You just have to go. That's your job as a teenager. You go to school, get good grades to ensure a good future. So when you ditch, it makes parents very sad because we feel like the steps that you're taking for your future, it's like a drop, it's like a setback. Yeah, you're going to mess up, sure. But if you consistently keep ditching, what does that say about you, your character?
Yeah.
What does that say about you guys in your perspective? I don't know.
Like, this is an exaggeration of a word, but a quitter, or like not quitter, but like a.
Right. Yeah. And you guys aren't quitters. You guys are just amazing kids. And ditching is kind of like the first little step of quitting in little and bigger things. Like, it could lead to stuff bigger if you let it. I know it makes the teachers sad because they work hard on their lessons, and sure, if they're boring, but I ditched once. My grandpa, he was the teacher there at school, high school.
You ditched his class?
No. I had a boyfriend who was really popular. And him and his friends, and I ditched math. I had Mr. Godfrey. And I went to class, got attendance, and then I left and met them by the boys, like the back of the gym. And we were walking down the road, and who drives right by us was the principal at the time. And he's like, "What are you guys doing?" We didn't even get a half a block away. He's like, "What are you guys doing? You better get to class." By the time I even made it back to class, my dad had already found out. And I felt so dumb. And I was scared. I think I was just so scared. Kids my age back then were, a lot of us were scared to ditch, but it doesn't seem like kids nowadays are very scared to ditch. So parents don't understand why. We don't get it because we were scared of getting our butts whooped. Like,
Yeah.
my parents would still beat my butt at 16 if I ditched or whatever. But nowadays, I seem like, as parents, we can't really do that anymore. So I don't know. It's just, do you guys feel like scared to ditch at all, or does not really?
No.
My freshman year, I was really scared.
Yeah.
But this year, since I'm 16 now and I have a car, it's been like more like inviting for me to ditch, and it's been more like less scary, and it's like all my friends are doing it and all this stuff, so it's like it's not as scary. Yeah.
So I think as a parent, like, we trust you kids, you, Kaydence. I trust you to go to school and go to all your classes. Like, that's all you have to do. So when you miss a class, you're breaking my trust in you. Like, where were you? Where'd you go? What were you doing instead of going to class where you should be? A lot of times, kids in my grade would ditch and go, smoke weed and then come back. That's pretty common. It's been going on forever. And I don't want you to do that because it's just, you're better than that. Ditching class may not seem like a big thing to you guys, but as a parent, it means it's kind of like makes us sad, and that we can't trust you to do what's right. Like, that's all.
So, along with ditching, let's go. What we kind of talked about, like, ditching. Sometimes we're just using the word ditching because it's what it is, but you ditch your problems to go do something else, and sometimes your distraction you use isn't the distraction that you should be used. So Sicily said something really good to distract yourself with hobbies. Ditch your problems for hobbies. So what do you have about, what is your insight if someone is going through that and they have trials that they're going through and they don't want to go through them, so they ditch or they replace their trials or something else?
I think replacing your trials with something else, getting hobbies, is the best thing you can do, if they're good hobbies.
I said ice skating or rollerblading.
Yes.
Okay. You're too clumsy, though. I feel like you would. I have about 1 million hobbies. Why? Because if I'm sitting there what is that phrase? Idle hands make idle work. I know for Kaydence, if she's not doing something, 100% will get into trouble every single time. I have to keep her occupied with stuff all the time because then she gets into trouble. Hobbies, so good. 100%. You should definitely have hobbies. If you don't want to go to class, like, you need to figure out why. Like, why? Do you not like the teacher? Is it the kids in it? Do you not like the class itself? But this is like the best time of your guys' lives right now. And I don't know if you know it or not. When you get my age and have to have a job and bills and all this stuff, stress. Right now, you guys just live it up. But also, if your parents can trust you, like 100% trust you, you'll have so much freedom. I know that you know that when you're on the same page as your parents, your life's way easier.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing. Like, if you fight me all the time, we're always going to have contention in the house. You're 16. You should have a car. You should have a phone. I want to give this to you, but I can't trust you. So you have to show me that going to class, doing what you're supposed to, following the rules. I would love to give you all of that. But you have to show me that I can trust you first. So you do what you're supposed to do, and I will bless you with all that stuff.
Two-way respect.
Two-way respect, exactly. Respect. Respect your teachers and what they say, even though you don't like them.
So going off what you said earlier, about quitting and stuff, when you ditch school, like now and stuff, it creates a bad habit of you ditching something that you got to be there and you got to do it, you know, to later on when you have a job and you got to go to that. You can't just quit that. So I know a lot of parents' perspectives are like that and stuff, but there's a lot of teenagers that haven't had jobs yet, and so they don't know what the big deal is. But what would you say to those teenagers that are like, oh, it's no big deal, like school's pointless and stuff like that?
Yeah, you're already steps ahead of the game in your mind. Like you're smart. You're already thinking about this stuff. So teenagers who don't see the point, you know, it depends on how old they are too. If they're getting, because Kaydence has been struggling for a few years, 14, 15. We've just been struggling with her. What's the point? Rebelling. But now she's getting older and she sees her friends driving. She sees you guys driving. She sees you guys with the phone. And now she's kind of like trying to change so that she can get all these things. Creating good habits, going to class. You don't know it, but you're training yourself already to be dependable. So adults can depend on you to be there. Same with the job. You have to be there if you want to get paid. You got to do the work to get the reward. Kaydence has to do the work to get the rewards that she wants. And then when you get older and you get married and have a family, it's the same. You can't be a quitter. You already have a family. What are you going to do, you know? You have to go to work every day, whether you like it or not, and make a paycheck. Or if you go to college, you have to go to class every day if you want to graduate.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, even if you don't want to, like, we do things, adults do things all the time that we don't want to do, but we do it out of responsibilities. It's our responsibility. We have to do it anyway. And also, if you don't like it, change your attitude. Find ways to make it enjoyable. It's all in your mindset. If you don't like something, figure out why and change it. Make it enjoyable somehow. You guys are smart and you can figure it out. Like, you can definitely do that. It's all in your attitude too. I'm very strong-headed. So I don't try and let Kaydence get away with a lot, because I'll be like, oh, well, change your attitude. That is, all bad thoughts come from Satan, and all good thoughts come from Heavenly Father. Like, you got to recognize if you're depressed, if you don't feel like doing it, where is that coming from? And then change it. So, it's easier said than done, but you guys are smart and very capable. And I know you can do it if you want to.
Thank you.
Well, I feel like that's a good place to end.
Mm-hmm. This was really fun. Thank you.
Oh, thanks for coming. Finally found a day we could do it. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for listening, and we will catch you next time. Goodbye.
See ya.